all your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGen15.
Hello and welcome to this latest video from NextGen15. Today we're going to be looking at our top 5 school teams of the weekend from the 11th of September. But before we get cracking on that, just a few bits of housekeeping. If you could subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, it makes a massive difference. It really helps us grow the school game as we reach a wider audience. Similarly, if you enjoy the video, please do give it a like and get involved in the comments below. You can get in touch with us on our social channels at NextGen15 on Twitter and on Instagram. And of course, head to the website www.nextgen15.com. That's nextgenxv.com. That's everything in terms of housekeeping, so let's crack on with the video. So you may remember our top 5s from previous guys pre-COVID times. Basically, we're going to pick out 5 schools every weekend that really impressed us in terms of how they played, the results they got, all of those kind of things. It's going to be slightly strange this week in that there is absolutely no form to go by. As we all know, we've had 18 months with no rugby at school level, so no form, no precedent. So really what we've looked at is games we expected to be close and therefore teams that sort of performed in excess of the expectation of the weekend on those. As the season goes on, you'll start to see us introducing sides who maybe got a surprise result here or there, or who performed particularly well, perhaps not even in a winning cause. But this week it's 5 schools who we thought performed exceptionally well in games that we thought would be closer than they were. First up is Bedford, a side who a few years ago were really knocking in at the top end of school rugby, back-to-back Champions Trophy finals, including a victory in one of them. But ever since that era, we'll call it the era of the Frasers, Dingwall and Strachan, ever since that era closed, they've been struggling to hit the upper echelons. But we've got a bit of a sense this year that they might have another cracking side. They were really impressed in pre-season, and on Saturday they gave us a brilliant performance. They were up against Oundle, a pretty decent side themselves, but Bedford came out and put in a brilliant display to secure a 42-19 victory and a very well-deserved place in our top 5. And we're really excited about what they might do over the course of the next season, because that was a brilliant result, and school rugby needs a good Bedford team knocking around in the upper echelons. Next up is Harrow, and it's important to remember, by the way, that these teams are in just alphabetical order. It's not a ranking 1 to 5. They're just 5 teams we've picked out. Harrow are the only away side that make our top 5, and with good reason. They had an absolutely stunning performance down at Hurstby Point College. We're expecting good things from Harrow this year. They had a strong under-16 group pre-COVID, and a really strong under-15 group who were pushing for schools cup honours before the tournament was cut short. Those 2 year groups obviously come together in the first team this year, so we're expecting big things of them, and they've started off with an absolute bang. They travelled down to Hurstby Point College, who are a good side. We're expecting them to be pretty decent this year, but they were just astonishing. A 53-7 victory away from home, marking Harrow out as a real side to watch over the course of the next year. And we can't wait to do it. I suspect they're going to be in this top 5 a fair few times over the course of the year. So Harrow next on our list. Next up is KCS Wimbledon. They were up against Reeds, who we caught in action in that May window where there was a little bit of rugby. They had a few lower sixth out in that team, and they looked like a pretty promising side. So we're expecting them to be decent this year. But KCS were just astonishing against them. The last really good KCS side was a few years ago now. You may remember a player called Jake Hennessy, who was their captain at that point and really helped them to some outstanding performances. He went on to Harlequins, Cambridge University, Scotland under-19. And this could be the shoots of a KCS side that starts to challenge that one. They were just brilliant against Reeds. 63-7. They beat the Surrey side, just an astonishing performance, and one that's really laid out a marker for KCS as a team to watch. I'll admit it, we didn't have them down as one pre-season as one we were particularly assuming would do big things, but that result's definitely got them on the radar for the next few weeks and months at least. Fantastic performance from KCS Wimbledon. Next up, Radley College. They were in a real classic schoolboy fixture against Marlborough College. A game we expected to be really tight. Marlborough looked pretty good in pre-season, and it's always a pretty decent battle between these two. But Radley were just outstanding, really clinical. All the reports we've heard back were that they were seriously impressive and have really marked themselves out as a team to watch. Clearly doing some brilliant things under the former Gloucester and England prop Nick Wood, who's now their head coach. It was a 37-0 victory. A really dominant display defensively as well as in attack. And we can't wait to get down to Big Side and catch Radley College in action, because that's a result that really does stand out for us. A game we expected to be really tight, but Radley in absolutely dominant form in the opening weekend. The final side on our top 5 school teams of the weekend is Wellington College. They were up against Northampton School for Boys in what was a repeat of the 2019 Under-15 Schools Cup final. So effectively the lower 6th groups of these years, I think. Maths is a little off after 2 years absence. But certainly a repeat of that game, and that game was pretty close. Wellington College won it, but it was a good contest. However, on Saturday, Wellington, I don't know if it's just that as time moves on they've developed more, got a couple of players in, or if perhaps it's because they missed out on a game last week against Haileybury and they came absolutely flying out of the blocks with a real point to prove. They've got a brilliant backline, and I'll tell you what it showed as they ran in try after try after try in a 52-12 victory. A game that they were probably expected to win, but we thought it would be pretty competitive. But this Wellington College side has absolutely set their stall out as a team to watch, and we all know what they achieved pre-COVID, and it looks like they are picking up exactly where they left off. Do not be surprised to see them on a fair few more of these top 5 lists if they keep playing like that. Absolutely brilliant from Wellington College. Of course, there were plenty of other sides that impressed over the course of the weekend. Just a few that we want to pick out as ones that really knocked on the door of this top 5. Barnard Castle with a 50-0 win against Hymers College, clearly picking up where they left off pre-COVID. Ampleforth College back on the map, really, winning their big Yorkshire derby away at Bradford Grammar, 35-19. St Ignatius College really deserve a shout out. They had a pretty tough week last week. But they bounced back brilliantly on Saturday away from home at Fulham Boys for a 48-7 victory. Up in Scotland, there were plenty of standout performances, but 2 really jump off the page. George Watson's College, 82-0 at home to Dundee High School, just ridiculous, really. And Stuart's Melville, 51-0 away at Glasgow Academy, equally impressive. Kirkham Grammar School, we all know what they've achieved over the course of the last sort of 10 years-ish. They look like they're another top side. 53 at home against Wirral Grammar School. They will face tougher tests, but that's a hell of a start from them. So too Mill Hill, 57-0 at home to QES Barnet. A really impressive performance from them against their local rivals. St Paul's were brilliant at the weekend, 43-0 against Campion, a team that are normally really difficult to beat. So St Paul's really setting their stall out early on. And then a slightly closer one, but nonetheless very impressive, was Tunbridge 24-0 at home to St John's Leatherhead. St John's are not an easy nut to crack, and that should have been a pretty competitive game, but Tunbridge were pretty ruthless, backing up all of our sort of thoughts about them in pre-season, where they've been truly brilliant, and I'm expecting them to be cracking into this top 5 at some point over the course of the next few weeks, because Tunbridge have certainly impressed early on. That's it for this video though, short and sweet, just to run through that top 5 for you again. It was Bedford, Harrow, KCS Wimbledon, Radley College and Wellington College. Congratulations to all, some fantastic performances. And just another quick reminder, please do like, comment, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It all makes a massive difference, really appreciate it. There's plenty more coverage on our website, www.nextgen15.com. That's nextgenxv.com. And of course, check out our socials at NextGenXV on Instagram and on Twitter. Got loads of content flying around at the moment. Dead excited to have schoolboy rugby back, as I'm sure we all are. So we will catch you very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.